Good morning. I will be reading and commenting. This one is about the Anima and the Animus. Note that I'm not a specialist in anything. I could be mistaken. I, I am not here trying to convince you or change your mind. This is just a thought experiment, all right? So I was reading our whole metaphysical tradition, Christian or other, maintains that there are two in us. There are two in us. This man with a small m, it's a soul with a small s. You see, in metaphysics, whenever we want to talk about something that has a beginning and an end in time, we write it down with a small case, small s, small m, because it is temporal. It is, victim of mass and magnitude. It cannot escape it. So this man with a small m that you see in the mirror every day, yeah, the psychophysical. Often, how do you characterize this man? By his behavior, right? With your eyes, with both of your eyes, you will see and feel and notice the behavior, the mannerisms of this man. What you're doing is memorizing and giving, um your take, or giving your approval or not of this personality set of behaviors, right? If this personality set of behaviors starts doing evil shit, right, you arrest them and trial them. That's what you do. You're just trialing the behaviors of the psychophysical, of the personality. These things all have a beginning and an end in time, all right? That's the man with a small m. Of course, when I say man, I'm talking in singular, the singular, right? I'm talking human. I'm saying human. Man in the singular, right? Man. So this man that you see in the mirror and the man with a big M, that's a different one. That's the second one. Like I started my phrase, all Christian, all metaphysical traditions maintains that there are two in us. This man that I explained for almost for 2 minutes, and then there's another man with a big M. In metaphysics, when we write man or soul with or spirit with a big letter, with all caps letter, that means we're talking about the transcendent, the immortal. So in all metaphysical traditions, there are two in us, the small m in the singular and low cap, and another man with a big M, all caps. This big man is the one sitting in the heart. Metaphorically speaking, he's sitting in the heart. He's the puppeteer. He's the one that controls and manipulates everything. Visual aid, for instance, of our ancestors, they used to, analytically speaking, right? Because in metaphysics, we deal with matters that cannot be touched. We deal with matters that can't be measured or proved conventionally. So we kind of have to demonstrate it using analogy, symbology, and mythology to make it intelligible. It doesn't mean they are as real as the hardcore physical things, right? They are as real, but we kind of have to use a different way of making it intelligible. And we use analogy, symbology, mythology, comedy, art. Comedy is a big one. Yeah, I really like comedy. Yeah. Uh, where was I? Um, I kind of lost my train of thought. Yeah, you go on a tangent. I'm still asleep as well. Yeah, went on a tangent and I lost my train of thought. I drank a cup of merde. I drank a cup of coffee, but it didn't work. Have you ever had a cup of coffee with a stick of cinnamon? It's really good. It hasn't worked yet. Come on, wake up. Oof. Okay, where was I? The whole metaphysical tradition, Christian and other, maintains that there are two in us, the man and this man, and that this is so is still part and parcel of our spoken languages. You see, it slips. It's still in our spoken language. Sometimes, for example, the expression self control implies that there is one that controls and another subject to control. Yeah, self control. Something is controlling someone else, right? Another subject to control. For we know that nothing acts upon itself. Okay, nothing acts upon itself. Plato, in Republic, he said something like, strictly speaking, no one imposes a law upon his own actions. No one. Nothing acts upon itself. It means someone is controlling something else. Um, so there are two in us. Yes. Let me read here another quote. I'll say, so in Plato's Republic, he talks about the two in us. Philo of Alexandria also talks about the two in us. Thomas Aquinas, Saint Paul. The doctrine is briefly stated by Goethe. Goethe, I had translated Goethe. There it is. Um, can I or will I risk read Latin? I better not. Oh, this one is in German. Oh, that's even worse. Zwei Seelen wohnen ach in meiner Brust. Die eine will sie von der ander trennen. Yeah, I totally butchered that. So the translation is something like, two souls dwell, alas, within my chest. One longs to separate from the other. You see, the soul with a big S, the transcendent, the spiritual, will always be longing to separate from the soul with a small s, that is, of the mortal world. In fact, they are always in conflict, they are always in a battlefield. The transcendent soul and the mortal soul are always in conflict, they're always in a battlefield. If you don't have this battlefield, I mean, the Greeks allegorically talked about this conflict when the Titans and the gods fight constantly each other. Sometimes the Titans win. Sometimes it is the gods that win. You know, uh, it is an eternal battlefield, and the transcendent is always at war with the psychophysical. Yes, the ones who don't have this battle, inside, are often called NPCs. They only, it seems, they only have the anima. They only have access to the anima, and the anima is the physical soul. The anima is part of the body. The anima is part of consciousness. The anima is the um, the part that has a beginning and an end in time. The animus, in the other hand, is transcendent. The animus, mind sometimes, or spirit, spiritus sancta, or soul with all caps S, with a big S, right? Uh, so I was quoting Goethe. Where was I? Um, Yes, similarly, right. We can find this, this two persons within us. We can find it in Plato, in Philo, Thomas Aquinas, blah, 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 blah. You can also find it in the Vedanta. You can find it in the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita. You can find it in Buddhism. You can find it in Islam, and you can find it in China. Yeah, I'm sure you can also find it in many, many others. For instance, I was listening to this Native American. I don't know what it was about, but I just memorized what he said. He said, "There's two wolves within us," he said. "It is up to you which one you're going to feed. So, are you going to focus on the anima or are you going to focus on the animus?" Yes? I say, feed them both because even though the anima is temporal, it is subject to time and mass and magnitude is subject to time and space. It is still part of you, right? So don't neglect it. There's some Puritans, I would say, that would say, "Oh, you have to crush the anima and only focus on the animas." No, come on, are you kidding? It is part of you, even though it has a beginning and an end in time. It is still part of you. So why deny the simple things of life? You will become a Puritan, one of these crazy folks. It's against everything of the flesh and of the physical world. Come on, that eats salt and bread and lives under a tree or something. No, come on, that's a bit radical. Yeah. All right, where was I? Blah blah blah, the expression self-control. Okay, all of that was to set the stage so we could have an understanding that there are two that dwell within us. All right, there are two that dwell within us. Now I can go and talk a little bit more about the anima and the animus. Of the two in us, one is the spark, the intellect, the spirit, the transcendent one, right? And the other is more about feelings, is more about mental machinations, is more about thoughts, emotions, and stuff. That one is the anima, and it is subject to persuasion. It is obvious that the latter is the tempter, or more truly, the temptress. There is in each of us, in this man and in that woman alike, right? In me and you, doesn't matter what gender, within each of us, there's an anima and an animus, relatively feminine and masculine. And as Adam rightly said, the woman gave and I did eat. All right. Um, It is unfortunate that in modern psychology, an originally lucid terminology and distinction has been confused by an equation of the soul image with the anima in man and the animus in women. Okay, they simply, basically, because the modern way of thinking that comes out of the universities, right? They are technical, very technical. They are formed. They got a diploma in linguistics, right? And they simply don't understand jack shit about metaphysics. Yeah. So they translate things literally, right? Basically, they have no clue how analogy or metaphor is used. They don't have no clue what is metaphysics or mythology. They have no clue what those things are. They don't have no clue and they can't put it into practice. So they translate things literally. And that's what gives birth to confusion, right? So they equated the anima with man and animus with women. No, that's false. Anima and animus exists in both. Anima and animus exists in both, unless you are an NPC, all right? If you're an NPC, then you don't have an animus. Anima literally is what the root word for animal, anima, animus. I'm sorry, anima. Anima is the root word for animal. It means ensouled, but ensouled not with a transcendent soul. No, it is ensouled with a soul that is subject to temporal, to mass and magnitude, right? Anima, animal, and soul. It means that it's ensouled. But it doesn't mean it has an animus. So all animals don't really have a transcendent part. So forget about being reborn as a fish or something like that. That is gibberish, I would say. That's almost like another misunderstanding of what karma is. Karma is not what goes around comes around. No, karma means literally means action. And who is taking action? The actuator. Who is the actuator? Who is the one pulling the strings? Is it the anima or is it the animus? Right? Who is pulling the strings? It's the animus. That's the one pulling the strings. That's the one taking action. Yeah, and everything that happens in this world stays in this world. Nothing's gonna chase you. Nothing's gonna like a retroactive thing. You're not gonna pay, like in a retroactive thing in another reincarnation or no. That's gibberish. That is, spiritual welfare. The deeds will follow you. Bullshit, right? Everything that happens in this world is in the realm of the anima, and it stays here. Ghosts, for instance, excorporated beings, stay here. They used to be animals, right? And they stay here. They didn't went, with the animus. So which one are you going to feed, the anima or the animus? It depends on the one you're going to feed. If you only feed the anima, you're probably going to become an excorporated being. So anyway, this is just me talking. Let us continue. The terms are even more misused by Father Darcy in his book, The Mind and Heart of Love. Traditionally, anima and animus are the soul and the spirit. The anima is the soul with a small s, and the spirit is the animus, the transcendent, equally in any man or any women, right? So William of Thierry speaks of animus vel spiritus. Well, he talks about animus vel spirit, which is mind or spirit, which are the same. Mind or spirit, which are the same. Mind is closer to spirit, right? This usage goes back to Cicero. Okay, this is Latin. Nece nos corpora sumus cum ingitur nosque te dice, octe te dice, nos animum to whom. I totally butchered that. I don't know how to read Latin. So this is Cicero. I also translated, where is Cicero? Cicero. Nor we have bodies, therefore, when he says, know thyself, he's actually trying to tell you, know thy spirit, know thy mind. Cicero was trying to tell people, try to know your spiritual side, try to know it better, because that's the one who's transcendent. This also, humanus animus deserptus ex mente divina. And Lucius is actually a Roman name that means light or the light of dawn, the light of clarity. Lucius, it's a very beautiful name. Also, Luce comes from Lucius, and I suppose Lucifer comes after. I suppose Lucifer, the light at dawn, the light of clarity. It's very a very common name. So Lucius Accius, he said something, sapinus amino, fruimur anima, sine animo, anima es debilis. So he said something like, we are wise with our minds, we are wise with our spirit, because the spirit is the puppeteer. That's where you will find wisdom. Another word for wisdom is the double-edged sword of, what was it called? The double-edged sword that, cut the edges, that sharpen the edges. It's the double-edged sword. It is wisdom. We are wise with our minds, with our spirit. We enjoy our souls. We enjoy the anima. We enjoy the soul with a small s. We enjoy the anima. We enjoy the personality, the ego. We enjoy that, right? Without our minds, without the spirit, our egos are weak. Yes? A person that is driven only by the ego is what? It only seeds destruction and chaos, right? They are driven by the ego. It's a, in their pathway they will only seed confusion and chaos. Um, where was I? Yeah, that's it. That's the end. I also could read, you know, because some people might get, oh my God, he's making distinctions between man and woman and stuff. In all traditions, not even accepting Buddhism, this man and this woman are both equally capable of fighting a good fight. So, in all traditions, man and woman are good warriors. Yes. In fact, Gautama, his followers, which were apprentice, or what's it called? They had a specific name. I can't remember right now. They were like apprentices, followers. Later, Christians mistranslated again the linguistics. They mistranslated man and woman to monk and nun. No, 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 no. There's no distinction between them. They were just apprentices. But again, mistranslations. And he had women and men alike following him. He didn't care. The doctrine was valuable for everybody. So So I think that's it. I think I'm going to shut up. I've been talking for 23 minutes already. Bloody hell. I'm sorry if this took too long. So I was reading from this text, who is Satan and where is hell? Uh, shortly, Satan and hell is within us, right? It's not a material thing. Heaven and hell is within us, right? And you will choose which one you will feed. You will never be able to manifest heaven on earth or hell on earth because the material world cannot be polished. The material world is as it is. You can't polish it. You can't destroy it. I mean, you can manipulate it, but what people call pollution, there's no such thing as pollution. No. Everything that's here is exactly what it should be. You can try to manipulate it, but you're not going to be able to pervert it to um, so the kingdom of hell or hell is within us. Yes, it's within. Which one will you feed? Pretty much. All right. Have a nice day.